Yeehaw!
Games Workshop's Basement. Hosted by
All of our mics are live.
Danny McDevitt.
That is true.
Val Heffelfinger. I'm Dicky, and it's Grim After Dark.
That is like the slowest curtain rise I've had in a long time, but I appreciate that. Welcome to Grim After Dark, Warhammer 40,000's only late night show for some reason. My name is John, tonguingly healed, and I'm here to misinform and entertain as we talk about the goings on over the last week in the world of Warhammer. This week, all kinds of things happen, and I didn't update that part of the script, but we do have a secret game going. That's what's super important here. But before we get started, let's meet the team. First up, he's the co-host with the co-most. He's our competitive 40K champion, all the way from Moscow, Idaho. It's Danny McDevitt.
Jesus, really bungled that one.
Jesus Christ. He's the beautiful face of everything square-based. He's a fantasy enthusiast and a 40K perv. It's Val Heffelfinger.
Yeah!
I don't even want to know. And he's the man behind the curtain. He's back at 98% health. He puts the coach in Canada as superstar producer, Tech Priest Dicky.
I'm back, baby.
And before we go on, if you enjoy what you're seeing or what you're listening to, and honestly, why would you? You can support us by liking or subscribing wherever it will let you. And if you're able to, throw a couple of dollars our way by becoming a member on YouTube or super chatting an answer to this question. Which level of the Matrix is Val in?
Which pill, Val?
Which pill? Red, blue, or artisanal?
Oh, I'm a blue pill guy all the way.
Get back in there.
I have no idea why anyone would ever eat the red pill.
Yeah.
I like I forgot to get changed out of my work costume. So Val, you went super casual today. That's kind of like a nice balance, the show's format. If you're not watching live, by the way, you're missing a wonderful look at Anonymous 40 years in the future.
Except
I'm pretty excited we got the Unabomber on tonight.
Hey, environmental terrorism. He was ahead of his time.
Man, we're gonna blow up some bad opinions, that's for sure. But first, this week's comment of the week, we have two because there was a late entry today that I didn't want to ignore. Brought to you by our friends at Frontline Gaming, open 24/7 at frontlinegaming.org. All of your GW products are discounted, or better yet, through their secondhand store. This guy on my God, it's going to be etched on my tombstone on like a QR code. But this came from the Terminator scale video that we put out months ago, and people are still responding to. The comment was, Yanks chatting bollocks like normal.
Nice.
Danny, as the only American, how do you feel singled out by this comment?
You know, John, it's deeply upsetting and hurtful to me that our former countrymen would disparage us so strongly on the internet. Shocking, John.
I am shocked.
I just want to start using the term chatting balls. Chatting balls, buddy.
And bollocks like normal. That's how I read
I do like to talk about balls. We'll see that a little bit later.
Moving on to the actual comment we have prepared this week, which came straight through a dirty DM into my Discord inbox. It said, "Hey, John Q, I'm 100% sure you and Danny explicitly stated that you wanted this in plastic, so saw this and thought of you. Enjoy," which was this, next slide down, beautiful femboy tech priest.
Oh,
Okay.
I think this is kind of coming off of our last couple weeks talking about Stilt Man. But guys,
I like those garters.
what are your thoughts? Yeah, positives on the techno garters.
Yeah, I wonder if those retract or what goes on with those things. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The stockings get lower or higher based on their warmth. I don't know. I do want to point out
this femboy tech priest feels cold anymore.
I don't think it feels at all unless Jared Leto is telling it to feel.
Oh.
And that's the important part. I do want to point out, now this next slide was a covered one here, but go on, slide down. I have complaints that one, it is not a femboy.
No.
Because as I put in slide here, how can be femboy when no wiener? Guys, if you want to take that.
Nope.
Oh no.
Apparently Finkel is Eisenhorn.
Yeah.
That's
So
strong.
that's comment of the week is all wiener based or picking on Danny.
The wiener-based meta.
Yeah. Well, we did need a new team name. That's always a solid one. Let's move on to some state
Please.
of play. Speaking of wieners, Danny, what are we looking at here?
John, I built the new Death Leaper model. He's been languishing in his box for like a month.
Son's kilt too. Looks like.
Yeah, so I decided to circumcise him. I took off his little flesh cape, and he's just bearing it all to the world. No protection. He's just out there,
Literally
free in the wind.
So,
Do you think it looks a
unlike-
little larger than a regular Death Leaper, or is that
It
just
looks
sort
that
of
way to
yeah.
me.
well, I would say that unlike Danny, this guy is not wearing a toque.
Oh.
That's true. He is
True.
just showing it. So Danny, you've
I'm
been
hot.
working. You've moved away from your mass of Necron winnings to start construction on your Tyranid models. How are those going along?
Whoa. First of all, no, I have not moved on from Necrons. I'd like to point that out. Still one of my very favorite armies.
I heard that
We're playing
online.
them- What's that?
I heard that online though.
Okay.
Like
That it's my
literally
favorite army that I said that.
30 seconds ago when I said that you'd moved away from them. That's when I heard it.
Oh, I see. So you're
Yeah.
putting yourself in some kind of
I am. Yeah.
horrible circular logic argument. Great. So anyway, moving on. I'm
Or
working on all
Boris.
these Tyranid models that I got with the Tyranid release. I'd like to get this army finished by like the end of January is kind of my goal.
Ooh, nice.
I do like that you didn't specify a year there. giving
Smart man.
it a realistic
Look.
hobby end date.
I'm a realist, John.
So, over under your next army being on square bases 1 or 0.
Ooh. I don't know. I might paint up these Tyranids and then work on something. I just got these guys and I want to make sure that I work on them. But I've been kind of eyeballing some Age of Sigmar lines to see how they can best suit my purposes as repurposed fantasy models. So without the obvious, like just look at Seraphon and put them on square bases.
Oh
'Cause
my
as
god,
awesome
new
as that would
Seraphon
be,
on square bases. Come on!
I would like to play an army that's going to be supportive, like right off the bat. So
Val,
That's
are
fair.
you going to do Stormcast Eternals on your square bases?
I can't wait to see that a lot. I don't know. It's like,
It's gonna
you could probably run them as Warriors of Chaos actually
Yeah.
pretty easily. That would be actually that's an idea right there. If you just want to go upset roomfuls of people, Warriors of Chaos, Stormcast, Eternal Army. Let's do this.
Every
heard it here
character
first,
is
folks.
named. You add the lore to yourself, and it's just Stormcast lore.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the like
my Lord Victualler.
I'm pretty sure I'll start. I'll probably if I build an army for specifically Old World, it'll be Jim Kangs probably. I would think, but I would have to probably 3D print all the core stuff because I suspect that's going to be derpy derp.
Yeah. Well, I hope your Tomb Kangs have less assault charges in them than regular Kangs. But Dicky, what have you been up to in your 3 weeks off?
Oh man, there's so much to tell you guys. I hugged a big hairy guy. I built a lightsaber. I was on a boat, and yeah, I touched some sand with my toes.
This is when we kind of do the smash cut to the Sunny title screen where there's like Dicky got sex trafficked.
Yeah, I mean maybe I don't remember.
I'm glad you escaped though.
Yeah, I was willing. It was all good. That was good. No big deal.
And then Val, in the notes here, I still also have this saying that you have a GT coming up.
I like that
believe
you
that's
corrected
for
from the
Grand
RTT that
Tournament.
you actually have written in the notes because indeed it is a GT.
I do. I just remembered reading it, how upset you got when I disrespected it like that last time.
Well, that's all right. Yep, still happening. I've got some rebasing to continue to be done. Needs to start happening in earnest. But I do have all the bases printed for Adam Camilleri's Ogres. Rob Symes's Lizardmen will also need to be done, and I have 2 models to complete for my Empire army. So there's a fair amount of hobby backlog to race through here, and also I need to keep practicing because my brain locks incredibly hard whenever I attempt to play Warhammer. So I need to get some reps in.
It's awesome. And again, this is for Val's premiere, one of the North America's largest ever inter edition, I'm going to call it, Warhammer Fantasy GTs.
It will be interesting to see like whether or not you get that usual sort of I don't know, it's like what the Big Mac actually looks like sort of situations once a new edition is announced. Because we're playing on the 24th of November, which is the week after the next big reveal day at the Warhammer Championships. So we might actually have like a really good idea of what Old World's like, and I just wonder if immediately people are going to be like, well, I'm not really feeling 8th edition anymore.
Oh, the quality of the end of edition tournament. Nicky D in chat asking how many Skaven armies are going to be at this Old World event. That's the important question, and I don't know enough fantasy to argue with that.
At least 2, maybe 3. So Dickie.
Yep. I got lots of I got a couple Skaven to build for Mr. Heffelfinger, and yeah, we're off to the races.
He's apparently running Skaven, although he has tried them in TTS, and he quote thinks that regeneration is a problem.
Regeneration is a major problem.
Even though it's
bad.
Perhaps one of the most solvable problems that you could possibly come across.
I did enjoy seeing in our little Grim contributors chat, Dickie troubleshooting issues for a 9-year-old game like they're newly found.
It's new to me, all right? It's new to me.
Danny. Danny seems to be muted.
Yeah, well, he just needs to use regeneration on his microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Hey, look, I made the 4 up. So, Dickie, you've got your thumb on the pulse of the game. I understand. Like, you know what everybody's taking. You've seen the meta now, and so why is regeneration such a problem?
Well, it's a 4-up second save basically after your armor save. And
is this a feel no pain?
It's just a feel no pain.
More like
sort of
more like an invuln, but you take both in fantasy. So
yeah, it just seems like every model I fight against has a 4-up feel no pain. So yeah. Maybe it's I just need to play other people, or maybe I need to put a flaming banner on some of my stuff. I guess I don't know. Yeah,
maybe. Actually, my absolute favorite thing from our little team chat this week was Dickie and Danny just fangirling out about fantasy, going back and forth, and Val doing his very best Scrappy Doo impression, circling the conversation, be like, "Hey, what are you talking about? What do you mean? What are you running? Where's this going?"
I have a podcast called Square Based. How could you dare leave me out of this conversation?
Oh, awesome. So moving on, this week or even last week, Frontline Gaming, the wonderful people at Frontline Gaming, did a massive promotional blitz on apparently the team event we've been waiting for. Which is
waiting.
I was gonna say, I don't wait for much. So this is expecting big things. But they announced the Champions Cup 2024 date TBD, and it says bring your 8-person team and come make history with us. Which is pretty exciting. Looks like we're just using the regular 8-man format. They also have a list of teams.
Regular 8-man format?
Question mark?
Standardized.
Run-of-the-mill.
I mean, 4, 7, 8 doesn't really matter. It's all just
however many people. Honestly,
points.
you can bring 9 people actually, and nobody's going to tell
like
you
a niner.
It's a communist format. You're sharing all your points. That's all that matters. But any surprises of the teams that they pre-registered for this event? I'm going to put on there. Looks like we have some Art of War, some Vanguard Tactics, Team America, yeah. We have some XBs.
That's for Xenos Petting Zoo. I had to honestly, I had to look it up. They're actually a pretty big team.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Ship thingy.
But a large scale team tournament in America, allegedly mirroring sort of what other team tournaments do. Danny, was this something the community's been crying out for?
I guess. I don't know. People are excited about teams, so let them be excited about teams. I'd heard from somebody that like, okay, so I thought this tournament was kind of weird for a couple of reasons. Number one, in order to participate in the tournament, you have to join the council. I don't know if you have a slide for this. Can I talk about this right now?
Yeah, well, we can move to the next slide here. I have the organizers down.
Well, you're gonna get all libertarian about the requirement to be a part of the Illuminati here.
No,
Danny?
it's just like okay, so you have to join the council. There's a limited number of spots to join the council.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. My experience with team tournaments and trying to prepare for things like the Adepticon team tournament, for instance, tells me that people like flake out of this stuff, especially when you're trying to wrangle like 8 people at a time. So like limiting this only to the people that are going to quote unquote participate in this event only seems like, I don't know, a pretty big mistake, especially when just teams don't show up, and then like a buy for 8 people like really sucks.
How dare you doubt the council? Danny
Down Council of Cool / Circle Jerk Club.
I mean, my first takeaway is like I'm shocked that 8 players is what they went with. Like, I don't know, that feels feels ambitious to go from previously something that was
Well, I think if you look at the
4 to
organizers,
5, I think did they run with 4 or 5 at their Las Vegas team tournaments? They went with 5. Also, ATC is the American Team Championship, widely accepted format, 5 players. So I get if they want to build more of a WTC culture and go with the 8-person format, but it just seems logistically tough. So I don't know, it's ambitious, but it is a tough fight.
You know, there's going to be 18 of these events next year.
There's 18 of these?
Apparently, like in a circuit.
That's sick. But again, like that's and I can't knock ambition. That is awesome. I think I don't know. I think there's certainly there's a lot to be said about the Team 40K format. And if you can get, clubs of people able to get out to that many events, I think it'll be really, really awesome. But it's just super ambitious. So I'm not going to knock them on that.
Well, we've seen a lot of the national teams, so WTC teams, get involved. So I believe right now we have Australia, Poland, Germany, Scotland, and England.
What of Canada? Will they join the council?
That's a good question. We should talk to our Canadian leadership team.
I'll just spell Canada with a K and join the council.
Yeah, you'll have my axe and my sword and my syrup. Be like everyone throwing in.
But also, like, because there are already obviously international groups like the WTC, and I think the ATC also announced a circuit this year. Like there are more than one affiliated ATC events this year, if I'm not mistaken. That might have been already happened. I'm so out of touch with things. It just seems interesting that this is sort of being bolted on. Is this something that will attempt to compete with WTC? Is it meant to be a complement to it? It certainly is competing against ATC if they're going with the 8-person team.
Now, there isn't a lot of details about that out right now. There had the application form. We have the organizers up here right now, who appear to be Sean Naden, who's put down as format specialist. If you have issues with your hard drive, he'll take care of you. Stephen Corrales, community liaison, and then of course Kicker Clausey, I think, who just can't help himself organize events. It's almost like it's his job title. Danny, how does that make you feel? Like that is the organizing team for this coup?
I don't have any problems with any of those people.
Could you? It makes really good content.
No, thanks. I'm good.
Dang it. Won't take random pot shots at the hierarchy of American 40K. How dare you?
No, I mean, it's really ambitious, and I think it's definitely good. I'll be interested to see how this, like, if this sinks or floats this next
Yeah.
year.
Well, when we move on to the next slide here, Kicker did put out in Comp 40K that this is the first 24 hours since the announcement for a year one event. The player cap is closer to the 400 or 500 players, so 50 or 60 teams. And they have had a huge influx of people, like 500-600 people like coming in requesting that.
John,
So
over 700 people have applied to be on the council,
that is not a small
For-
council.
each representing 8 people.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Apparently, that's what somebody in Frontline told me. So
That's wild.
He's got his man behind the scenes. So there is a call for it. And there's people are really excited. So I'm excited to see where it sort of goes from here. I lost. Oh, there it is. I moved it complete to the wrong place. Beautiful. The same day as that was announced, and Val, I think you hinted to this a little bit as well. These guys also came out. Thomas Bird and the crew down in the south came up with the NTL. Which I can only assume is the National Titty Licks. It can mean literally nothing else. But they did reveal this mat here, which shows another team format, if I'm not mistaken. Thoughts on the NTL?
So we already have a WWF WCW fucking.
I already know about this. Actually, can I talk about this?
You
Yes,
can.
please.
Yeah.
Okay. So the NTL is the 18 event circuit. I think that they're gonna try and do for team events specifically.
Okay.
So
It looks like 5-man teams. Yes.
So
like
is this the
8-man
ATC?
teams.
Is this
Eight-man
8-man teams?
yeah, this will be 18 8-man team events apparently coming next year. That's what I heard, but we'll see on November 1st, I guess.
When
Separate
everything-
from the championship cup.
The championship cup is one event.
Oh, that's only one.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's all
Oh.
connected.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Because I was going to say, what a time to not have 6 other friends. That's all I can think of right now.
So I don't know. I want to talk about this when it gets announced next week or whatever. Maybe we'll know more details. But like, and Thomas Bird is a fantastic human being. So
Giant of a man as well. And I don't usually say that about people.
he's a big boy.
He's a large lad. I think the greatest ever car ride I had I think 6 of us squeezed into a car on the way to Charity Hammer. I was the smallest person in that car.
That is some sparking. There's some sparks flying out the back of that car.
Sure, that was the grounder.
All right, moving on. I had everything locked in and settled and ready to go for tonight's show on Saturday. It'd be a real shame if they announced something right on Monday morning that would really interest at least half the cast here. And there's no way this next slide could ever possibly. Oh my God, look at that. Hours of work into that graphic right there.
Breaking news.
It's actually really good, John. Nice job. This is more
Good job.
work than I put into my image that I made this week.
We'll get to that in a second. Yeah, so breaking news. Val, Danny, and then Dickie, take it away. What's going on today? They announced some old world rules.
We moved on before my brain allowed me to do so. Just need to quickly just cap there. So everything I said about Frontline Gaming, assume that the Champions Cup, I just assumed that was a linking of a bunch of events. I did not realize it was one event.
Well, they're
Changes
not
the whole
allowed to do
thing.
that, right?
I don't know what
Maybe.
they're not allowed to do, but
Yeah,
that okay, cool. So then maybe this other thing is maybe the Champions Cup's part of that. But why would you have a whole council for? I'm so confused. We just did some bad news.
For a
Breaking news.
500-person tournament?
Maybe?
I want a council for that.
I would have, yeah. And like, which captains will travel with the hobbits to Isengard? That's what I want to know.
It's a great use for SoCal for sure. By the way,
Oh, yeah.
The paddock will be rocking. I think it's fantastic.
You think this takes over from SoCal?
Well, it's supposed to be. I think that I'm not making that up. They said the first one will be held at the fairgrounds in SoCal. I think right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's correct.
Say
So
aye
like
or
that's.
Look,
I think that's a really good use
Make
of
fun
that
of it,
space.
Val, but I love that venue. I think it's a great venue.
Setting up AV equipment in unusually colored puddles was fun.
Look,
Don't
as a
piss on
player,
the floor.
I liked it as a player. I can understand how that would be a real hard time to stream something there.
Actually, no, it was more like just the internet was fun in that venue.
Oh,
No, it was cool. It was cool. It was cool to go to. I mean, it was like literally playing Warhammer on the beach, so it was fantastic.
In the water.
In the water, there you go. The beach came to me. I didn't even expect it.
Set
But
up
really,
the lower
this
table.
wasn't meant to be a dig on the paddock. It was actually supposed to be like it's like legitimately a fantastic venue for something that has massive scale and scope. So, and
Yeah, no,
also
I was
like.
just saying that.
Like go for that ATC experience of like, you know, grab an RV, hang out with your bros, tailgate the parking lot, like all that kind of stuff is like perfect for that location. And it would be cool too if somehow it's connected to something larger, which is what I assumed something called the Champions Cup was.
Well, typically,
I guess
only
I read into
champions
that wrong.
get a cup,
Typically.
and that's the important thing. Typically, though sometimes we do get participation cups.
Usually you're awarded a cup for winning a series of events rather than one event. You know?
Yeah. You know,
Maybe this is supposed to be like LVO in that it's the accumulation of these team events, but I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it too much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dickie,
maybe.
I reorganized a little bit. We're going to go to our breaking news here in a minute. I think all of this talk of cupping makes me want to go to our homework assignment that we have up here on slide 10, Dickie, that we're starting with. I had all of the cast here. So Dickie, Danny, Val, and myself, we have all designed what we think the best Champions Cup looks like. And I'm very excited about the results. So whoever is this first one here, please don't let me delete your slide completely. But go up one, Dickie.
Oh.
And then perfect.
Hey, who's
Okay.
that? That's a
Hey,
beauty.
so this is my effort.
Nice.
Oh, good.
You can tell it's the Champions Cup because it says Champions Cup.
I mean,
Also, it is a frontline event, so the handles have been player placed. So one is right around the back.
Nice touch. Nice
Well
touch.
And then,
Very good, John.
thank you. Yeah, like it was all about that joke. That's the whole segment. And then just let you know you're number one and someone who looks remotely like your mother telling you did a good job.
Which is nice because that's
Which is
probably
nice.
more. Yeah, that's probably more impactful to a lot of gamers than.
It's never going to happen in real life, so it might as well happen when you win the Champions Cup. But yeah, so marks out of 10.
I mean, that's all 5 out of 10 effort, I'd say.
oh,
Although
fair.
I'll take you up to 6 out of 10 for the player place bit. I like that.
yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I'll give you a 6.2, John.
Ooh.
No, you know what? I'm gonna up you. It's
Oh.
a 6.9.
Hey.
Oh,
Yeah, and then Dickie out of 10.
at least a 7.2.
Oh, 7.2, man. You're just making me do math. I'm going to round like hell. All right, moving on next. We have this guy here. Who?
Oh, man.
Whose was that?
This is mine.
Nice.
Well done.
So this is the Stacking Up Cup. Stacking Up Cup.
Sucking up cup.
That works too.
Yeah, so it's just really this award is designed to really honor those players who have chosen not to be a coward. They've put everything on the line and they've ran at their opponent every single game.
Sack first.
Really shown that they deserve to win through the use of their massive balls. And so that's what this is really designed. You can see here it's got hair and veins for a really realistic kind of look.
What I hope isn't dice taken from Frontline's website's image.
Those are and those are the
Testicular
stones.
varicose veins are a real problem, Danny. So I'm just saying. This is triggering for some.
I do like Danny. I appreciate you designed a cup for a person like me where the tactic is just go forward and threaten and then get shot into oblivion because what's cover anyway.
But what I did is I appreciated the actions that you took, John.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm really relaxed by this. So I'm going to give you a 4.2.
Thanks. Nice.
0. Val, how would you rate the Sacking Up Cup?
Sacking Up Cup. I mean, that's a 9 out of 10 right there. That is like,
oh wow.
This is a potential. I'd say this is a potential inspiration for the future Champions Cup. They would be wise to take this under consideration as a design vision for
Well, I
for
think the
future
only thing
circuit.
we have to do after the show, by the way, is all of these are going to be posted on Frontline Gaming's community page, and we're going to provide them as options for Kicker.
I think the
to pay the
council will
commission.
look favorably upon this sack.
Which one though? There's so many. There's going to be like 100 council sacks, 200 balls.
So
Dickie,
many.
what's your next one? What's your vote? What's your vote?
A strong score of 2.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Poor taste.
Dickie, not a fan of sex.
Nope.
No.
Makes sense. It's jealousy rearing its ugly head right there.
Yep.
Or sack. Don't taint it, Danny. Moving on.
That's a different trophy, John.
Moving on. Oh, bam.
This is adorable.
Explain yourself.
Yeah, god damn it.
Okay, so I enjoyed you guys, of course, when I was off, and I had really a ton of fun when you guys were talking about the cat lady Sorotas army. So I asked my
Oh.
kid to draw me a cat trophy.
I didn't respond to your message yet, Dickie, but I don't know where they got the cat girl models from.
Oh,
But I'm sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, I didn't ask that. But
You
yeah,
can
so
ask. I can
here's no, don't worry, I'm good. So yeah, this is my kid drew this. I thought it was really cute. I have no idea what the orange monster is, but it clearly is a problem for the cat.
I do like that it took you a minute or so to say that it was your kid who drew this. Before saying that, while you were on
I was
vacation, I was
confused for a
really
moment.
inspired by the cat people. And anyway, I just went to town. And what do you think, guys?
I just wanted to draw this for you guys.
Oh man, I just needed my kid to be busy for a couple hours. I'm gonna be honest, and
Couple hours?
Couple
Yeah,
hours.
this was a big to do. All right, a big to do.
Damn.
Was this the 5th version after an hour and a half?
yeah,
Where you're like,
there
no,
was-
do it
there was-
again.
There was 3 scraps before this.
I also like that this is either a cat's stuffed into a clear cup,
exactly right. Yeah.
or just skinned and stretched around the outside of the cup. It's hard to tell which.
Yeah.
What are the yellow circles along either side there? Do you know? Do we ever find out about that interpretation?
I believe that's the claws. The claws.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the cat has been skinned and turned into a cup. And then
Well,
it's
the ear
dripping.
appears to be poking out from inside the cup.
Yeah.
So
She wanted to angle that ear so it was a little more 3D. Yeah.
Adorable.
I like
Oh shit. Well, I got to go 8 because it's a child and I'm not
Yeah.
a
I
knew it.
monster.
tough not
I
to.
knew it.
Yeah, Danny, you could please be the monster among us. You don't have children yet.
0.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, Uncle Danny didn't like your picture. Sorry, kid.
I'm
This
just
is
kidding.
up
This
to the-
is obviously a 10. Jesus.
Dickie holding the child up to the camera, being tell her to her face.
Dickie's child, despite meeting her numerous occasions, enjoying many fun trips, denies ever knowing who I am whenever she meets me.
Funny
So
pitch
I-
you got.
I'll still go with 9 out of 10, even though she's already gaslighting me.
All right, Val. Well, yours needs to be I think a legitimate commission cup to be our sappiness over children's works of art.
Yeah.
Let's move on here.
Well.
So we got a lot going on. Is this the actual GW trophy you won?
No, it's not the actual GW trophy I won. Yeah, I don't know where the inspiration for this came from, but I just thought this would be representative of maybe a thrifty approach for starting out event, and here's the trophy.
What I like about this is it almost says that, say, another bigger company looked at an idea and was like, "This is mine now," and just stuck their picture on it and then called it good.
No.
Possibly, but it says number 1 dad. I'm assuming
crossed
you
out.
stole this trophy from Dickie, who encourages their child's art for these projects.
Just perhaps again, a startup event. You got to use what's around. Perhaps Kicker. An excellent dad in his own right. Just reusing something that he's already gotten some love out of. A true champion, number 1.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Exactly.
Yeah. Danny, what are your thoughts on this?
It's beautiful.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this like probably a 9.7.
Ooh, nice.
9.7.
And the reason I'm going 9.7,
Feels high.
I really like the number one dad crossed out joke. I think
Yeah.
that's really good.
Thank you.
Maybe the best joke I've heard tonight.
Well, that's a lot,
Well,
but
that was
appreciate that.
hurtful. Very,
High
very
praise.
hurtful.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that was the intention.
Just turn off my camera while I cry a little bit here. Chat here saying dad is crossed out like it's a result from a Maury Povich show, which I think makes me like it even more. I'm gonna go 9.8. Just
Wow.
so
Wow.
it doesn't beat me, mainly, but that's okay. Dickie, what are you gonna go for? Are you gonna support your family with a win? Or are you gonna be honest?
I gotta be honest. I really the trophy has a significant meaning to me because I have one of those trophies, also
Indeed.
stolen from a player.
Mhm.
Is it truly
And
stolen if you
They left
forget
them
about
behind.
it?
They left them behind like trash. I would
they
not.
left them
I would
behind like
not.
trash, and we just threw them in our luggage, and
And
that was it.
and also, John Lennon had the audacity to ask for it back once, to which I simply did not reply.
Oh boy,
He is actually. Hold on a sec.
You left
that
John
is
Lennon.
such a good joke.
You left John Lennon on red when he asked for the trophy.
Yeah, look,
he
there it
won
is.
back.
There it is. Specifically, John Lennon's right there.
Cold dead hands, John Lennon. Cold dead hands.
Oh, that's so funny.
Amazing.
You know what? Just because I had such a good laugh, 9.8 for Mr.
9.8.
I didn't think this would happen. Wow, I'm truly touched.
Dickie beating his own child in the process. Not like that.
It's bad news. Bears.
But the scores do
At
go.
least not today.
Ooh.
It goes Dickie's child second. That's a stupid order. It goes me last, then Val, then Danny, then Val, then Dickie.
Yeah.
Nope. I was wrong. That's okay. I can't do math. You guys added
The other way.
decimal places in there. I'm last. That's all that matters, and that's okay, even though I had the best joke. Anyway, the old world had some
Well, it's on the
exciting
screen
rules
right now.
previews. In
Oh,
about
now we're
2 to
talking.
4 about 2 to 4 minutes. What kind of rules previews did we get for the old world today?
Damn. Oh,
We got.
Whoa, look at that. That was fast.
Whoa.
We
Dickie's
got.
on it.
Oh,
I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna move it. Relax.
Tidy that up a little bit.
So yeah, it'd be nice if it was centered, but you know,
Not
look,
your
you can't
mouth.
you can't have everything
The
you
way,
asked for.
and also the way he's solving this problem right now is guaranteeing that
can
the rest
see
of the
the
show is going to look
magnified
completely
window.
fucked up.
All right. All right.
Oh no! Oh, I see what you did. Okay, no, that's good. Okay, I thought he was readjusting the PowerPoint. Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. This is huge. This is huge. Couldn't
Yeah.
be bigger. Oh my
Turn
goodness.
sequence.
They have turn sequences and Danny sub phases. I mean, this is a big boy game with big boy design concepts.
I love it. Magic, the magic phase thrown completely out.
Get out of here.
Well,
To
actually,
be honest, has always been the most problematic phase in fantasy. So this is probably
well,
good for the game. We'll see.
I would suggest that the magic phase even worse since it's in all 4 phases of the game. So
Every phase is a
every
magic
phase
phase.
is a magic phase.
I think and this goes to 40K as well, where you have and I posted in the old world Facebook group, and we got some good engagement on this point, which is just that like even in 40K before they got rid of the psychic phase, when you have a phase that's dedicated to something that not all factions participate in, it means that some factions are just going to get hosed, or it'll be a struggle to balance them correctly in that phase. When you disperse it like this, now you're just going to, hopefully they don't go as far as 40K. It looks like they're going to have magic users who basically will activate abilities and however magic works in the game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can also have, you know, like a general who's got a particularly bushy mustache, and maybe they, you know, go on an initiative test and they get to activate some sort of ability. You
Sure.
can have items that activate various abilities. So it's not like by spreading it
Well-
out like this, you can have different sources of effects and buffs and things like that.
And we got a preview of an item that does something similar to that, Val. We have the Falcon Horn of Friedman.
there.
Falconhorn.
Yeah, the
You got to grind that up for it to work.
summons Peter like immediately.
Just
And
someone
shove
comes
it right in
over
your
and just
goddamn mouth.
makes you
When
feel like
you use this magic
less
item,
excited.
Peter appeals to your table and goes, I'm all sweat.
nailed it. Yeah, it's good, I guess.
I get that for free every time I hang out with him.
The most it's fine enchanted item of all time.
Yeah, it could be, honestly, it could be really good for like somebody who has like a bloodthirster or something like that. Just making sure they don't get to fly is pretty powerful, especially when you're trying to set up those night charges on those big beasties.
Not
Yeah.
just fly, Danny, but fly bracket X special rule,
Yeah. So
All right.
now we have different fly values.
which is something they may have just ripped right out of old wet ass Warhammer's project.
Yeah.
Yeah, fly bracket X was a rule that they used. But yeah, we're all over the map here, but it's super sick, and I'm very, very keen.
They used one of my favorite pieces of fantasy artwork in
The trolls?
In the trolls. I love that piece so much. It's so cool. It's so good.
One of the better ones. It's very, 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 very evocative. Gotta love a good troll barf. Look at that whole bone. Look at those whole like femurs in that projectile vomit
And the
from
vomit, yeah.
I think it's called a falcon horn.
Oh.
Not just a bone. But quick
It's
review
on the stick.
on the reveals that came out today. Are you guys excited, underwhelmed, or whelmed?
fully whelmed. Massively
Fully whelmed.
yeah, like for me, like I've been sort of, I don't know, again on the Square Base podcast, you probably heard me being naively optimistic about the direction that this rule set's going to go, just from a perspective of like it's been in development longer than really any game that I know of that they have ever made at GW. Like it's what we're coming up on 5 years, I want to
Yeah.
say. So it's like whether or not they've been actively working on it for that full period. Just
The
even
first year was choosing the font for the rule book.
I mean, that's very possible, but at the very least, they've been thinking about this for a very long time, and you can see that it's not just a retread of an existing like for example, when they first brought out Horus Heresy with the it's not just like a retread of the 8th edition or 6th edition rule set. This is all immediately by breaking down phases like this, by having sub phases, by some of the things that they've tipped away in some of the rules. You can see that they are applying not necessarily obviously, but it is nice to see that they're applying the evolution of rules writing that we've seen at Games Workshop since, in the last 10 years, certainly in the last, almost 15 years since they last wrote a fantasy edition. So
Yeah.
It still feels very fantasy though, right? With some of the trademarks, like you charge at the beginning of the move phase and things like that, right? And they're using the right terminology, like compulsory move, remaining's move. So yeah.
I like that they
Yeah.
bragged about psychology, so things like leadership and panic tests being more complex rather than simplified. They're sort of flexing on this being not overly simplified, and but I mean at the same time breaking down phases like this, just some of the hints at like standardizing how rules are written in some of the in the spell and in the enchanted item that they highlight, shows that actually in some ways they are obviously simplifying and streamlining the game by applying some of those good rules writing methods that they've developed and figured out over the last while. So that all bodes tremendously well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Danny, final thoughts on the old world from today?
Yeah, exciting. I like some of the changes. It'll be interesting to see how rally fleeing troops happening before declare charges changes some of those interactions, which will be pretty significant. And then breaking up the different things into subphases. I really like the modification to leadership, in that if your unit's below 25, it's double ones, and if they're if they're below half, then it's just a -1, which is pretty cool. So it'll be interesting to see kind of some of those interactions. The other thing that I noticed is there's a command range stat for characters based on
Where'd you
the
see that?
Jaff's Enchanted Blades.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And it says that there's while in like the Lich Priest's command range, like you get to reroll ones on your units. So we'll see if that means that characters are in units or not in units. This kind of to me says maybe not in units, but we'll see. We'll see exactly how that works. Tomb Kings might just have bubbles, which will be cool. Which is cool too.
Command range is also a key mechanic of Warmaster, a beloved epic version of Warhammer Fantasy.
I do like Warmaster.
In which heroes play like a very linchpin, and they are, as Danny just alluded to, they're individual units, so they're outside of units, and they aren't necessarily there as combat pieces, but they're there. Your army literally can't do stuff unless they're within range of a leader, and so that'd be kind of neat if they bring in some of that influence, because it does make, like, what your army can do is very much dependent on whether or not they can respond to the orders that your general gives them.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, that's a little bit too much positivity from us at this point here, so let's go around the nap.
Oh gosh, no!
I'm gonna throw bumpers up randomly for Dickie.
Holy God!
He did it.
Dickie doesn't get noticed. Dickie doesn't get noticed. I just make it sound like he does. Welcome to Around the Net, part of the show where we dive deep into the dank drivel the internet provides. And this week, we got a lot to cover. That's going to be abridged a little bit because I want to fit in the game at the end.
No way.
We're gonna go up to slide 15.
Up to
We're gonna go up. Yeah. This one here, the Horus Heresy series, was a mistake. It took from the mystery and appeal of the lore and cucked the image of the Emperor.
Imagine.
God, I
Imagine.
hate the word cucked.
Val, how did they do this? How did they cuck the Emperor? Did they have Malkador? Did they have him watch Malkador create the Primarchs?
Also, it's cuck the imagine of the Emperor. Whatever that fucking means.
Val, can we just ask a couple of questions of you before we get started? Why do you hate the word cuck so much?
Yeah, it's like a weird word to hate.
Well, it's just a genre that's hard for me to fap to personally, and then also it's
overused.
It's overused and tends to be a bit of a dog whistle for a particular type of person who believes certain things that I think are gross.
That's fair.
But that's
good reason
about the Champions Cup. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It was a joke. Danny, how could you rewrite the Horus Heresy to make the Emperor more Chad-like and less cucked?
Well, honestly, I think if you really kind of if you made sure that the Emperor's decisions were all based and red pilled, then like I think you'd get a way better series. Honestly, not any of this like complaining
he went to Mars
emotions or things like that, or women. Like, make sure that like you just really focus on that male power fantasy, and that's like kind of the story.
Who can forget the time the Emperor like awoke to talk to the Sisters of Battle who approached his golden throne and was just like, the fuck, bro, what's the chicks doing here? Like, just heavy dialogue, just really good stuff. Yeah.
It just exemplifies the phrase, get woke, go broke, really. And that when the Emperor wakes up, like,
he's gonna die.
It's gonna be bad.
Well, according to oh man, who's the guy who designs all the pictures that are all like brassy and screwed up? Basically, he's the
John Blanche.
John Blanche. According to John Blanche, the Emperor is just in a series of jars behind a curtain, right? So like even that's there. Although I have there's a guy named Luke Blaxell who does old world videos and stuff who I really like, Dr. Luke Blaxell, and he had over an hour conversation with a guy in the very silly voices at first, but they stopped doing it after a little while. But they talk about in fantasy, and I think they also apply this sort of to 40K, just how the whole like advancing of the setting has sort of taken it from being and this is like in the current timeline of 40K, not necessarily Horus Heresy, but it applies there too. You take it from being a setting to being a very specific narrative. And that does change. That does legitimately change the vibe, despite me not wanting to agree with this poster, based on again certain dog whistles. So like it does change the vibe a lot as you flesh out details of this world and make things more specific. It does lose a bit of its magic and its shine, despite it also being super cool to know, verifiably things about it. So
He did
I don't know.
want to watch Magnus on the throne, so I get that part. That's fair. And then I don't know. I don't like. And again, I forgot to say cuck the imagine of the Emperor, which is just terrible. But he's not cucked. He's a literal god. Read any passage from the Horus Heresy, and unless even if you're planets of people, you will die in his presence. Like he no cucked. Read End and Death Part 3 when it comes out. You'll see.
Also, what's so wrong about being? What's the big deal about being cucked every now and then? It happens to the best of us, guys.
Moving on. Moving on. We have the me team. Can you please stop nerfing the list building after releasing supplements or rule books? That is all. Thank you for all you are doing. Games Workshop models are so expensive. We buy, we build, we get excited. You destroy our souls when we find out our armies are no longer valid. Come on, nerf the rules, not the lists. And then it goes on like way more, but it's saying the same thing here. But Danny, how do you nerf the rule, not the list?
Well, John, the way that you nerf the rule and not the list is you change a rule in a unit's profile without modifying the points or other abilities or other ability to take said unit. That's what he means by this, I assume. But it's stupid, John. This is a stupid opinion.
There's a reason I went straight to you for your take on this opinion, because I was hopeful, but you had me going in the first half, and I'm like, wait a second, no, this is going wrong. But yeah, it is a stupid opinion, right? Because you can't necessarily nerf the rules without changing the lists.
I mean, right. I mean, you could nerf the rules. Like you could say, well, these guys, this rule doesn't work that way anymore. And it's like, oh, you can still take them, but they're not going to be as good. But like really the way that you need to nerf people's lists. Sorry, guys. Like, you can't just have everything be the same and have it be perfect. Like just because you like the models in your army doesn't mean it's fair or fun to play against. So
first of all, this is a Middle Earth strategy battles game comment. So there's a lot going on here that blows my mind. One, that there seems to be some sort of an active meta around the.
It's an incredibly popular game.
That's cool. Every time I drift close to where the Middle Earth guys are playing at a larger tournament with like other little tournaments, it's like getting too close to a Mormon on the bus. Like they are very evangelical about their game and how good it is, and I'm sure it's great, guys. So this specifically might have to do with because like there's very permissive list building now in 40K, so you probably have set up 40K a bit more to nerf the rules and not the list, whereas this looks like something may have been tweaked or changed in the army construction rules that prevented these lists from being legal. So maybe this person's not as out to lunch as it may appear at first glance, like from a 40K lens.
So to summarize what you both said, it's a really stupid opinion. Dickie, next slide.
No, that's not what.
This one here, we're going to focus on the top part here. He says, careful about copyright infringements if you're selling them. Just saying. Pretty sure GW owns the term Space Marine and the likeness. I keep getting ads taken down for even using Space Marine. Lol. And kind of in the spirit of that, I wanted to go down to our next slide. And Danny, I wanted your opinion on this. Oh, actually, wait a second, Dickie.
This is like again. People in Plato's cave trying to understand what the shadows on the wall are. This is fucked up.
Yeah. Jump on down, Dickie, now. You might want to move it up a little bit here.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Okay, so Danny, what's your opinion? Does GW own and are they able to stop people from using the term Space Marine?
What the fuck is this slide? First of all, like, what?
Well, I think
None
it
of these
says.
guys are legally distinct enough to be not like copyright infringement immune. So
Well, that's why I put the little asterisk down beside 100% lawsuit proof.
it was hard to see it kind of blended in with some of the base material that you used for that.
That's why I
intercessor.
chose that there. But yeah, what is this an accurate thing? Or are Facebook taking down pictures of Space Marines because you used the word without permission?
Probably not.
I'm gonna say definitely not.
And then the little Space Marine goes, and that's legal advice. There you go. I moved it around a little.
Okay.
I just
Yeah,
had fun making.
the second commenter actually does nail it. They actually lost the Chapter House lawsuit over the term Space Marine, as it's too generic.
They did.
And I do find like how you, and then also just like a armored space warrior is probably, even just that likeness is probably pretty tough to win a
Mm-hmm.
battle over. So
Yeah,
Yeah, it would
absolutely.
have to include things from the Space Marine that are like unique to like Space Marines. So like
Unique.
if they had like an eagle insignia on their chest,
specifically the Aquila,
right,
but like a
right.
double-headed eagle, like
What if you
Yeah.
gave
Even
him
like
a,
a single-headed eagle though might I think be.
what if you gave him a dick? Because GW Space Marines don't have dicks.
we
So it
don't
could be
know
exactly
that,
the
John.
same.
We don't know that, John, and you keep bringing this up, and I don't know what to say. Like, who knows? They might have dicks, they might not. Like, why
I
would
like
we-
the idea of them, like, because the penis is not essential to the whole Adeptus Astartes program. I just like the idea that they just have like withered, like neglected, and perhaps still like accurate to the size and scale of when they were people,
So they all got-
cock and balls. So they all just have like the tiniest
so
little
angry.
little dicks and the tiny, like most shriveled up, like kind of like after you neuter a dog, their sack is just sort of empty and
Wow,
like,
that is very
withered.
sad. Yeah.
Wait,
That's kind of how I
Did you not
imagine
buy
Space
your
Marine
dog-
balls.
when you cut off your dog's balls, you didn't buy him some of the little fake testicles to put in
That's
there?
an
Some like
option?
truck nuts.
Yeah,
you got your dog some truck
Oh my
nuts.
God.
these are
That's an
called like
option?
nudicles or something like that.
No.
Yeah, dude. We were gonna buy one
it's
for our
out.
friend who only has one testicle, but he didn't. He got mad at us when we talked about it. So
No.
I mean, a prosthetic testicle for a human being, I understand, but the dogs,
yeah,
they-
but dude, you gotta make a look. Dog self-esteem is important too, Val.
yeah, my guys seem to be just carrying along just
They
fine.
just don't know what they're missing. That's the problem.
guess.
I mean, they still aggressively fillet each other, so
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Look,
It's gross.
An average day in the Heffelfinger home, a lot of violent fellatio.
It is, yeah. We could I'll try and get some of the audio for the minute. Whose grunt is it anyway?
Oh boy.
It is
Beautiful.
alarming.
You guys might not have been able to tell by the spooky music that rose in the background, but Dickie is going to jump to slide 24 right now. For
Oh, really? I was ready
yeah,
for this. Okay.
yeah, a little
How is it
misaligned
spooky?
on the window because he messed around with the screen.
Yep. Who could have saw that coming?
eBay Price is
Nobody
Right,
really.
spooky edition. As Danny's busily sharing links in chat
Download
about
PowerPoint.
testicle implants for dogs.
Nudicles,
which-
John. Nudicles. All right, let's
I
play
love
this
it.
game. I'm excited.
Now, moving
is
on,
this
we
spooky?
have our spooky prices right. Next slide down is based on this old Bell of Lost Souls article
Oh my.
with the 5 scariest miniatures ever made by GW.
Oh.
And
That one is scary to me. To be
that is
honest.
pretty scary. And then this week we are introducing the Val Heffelfinger amendment to the rule set. Val,
What?
while you were playing the game, your
Yeah.
hands must be on display
Yeah.
in your screen at all times.
Yeah, just so you guys know, Val admitted to cheating profusely throughout all of these
He was
games.
cheating.
Quote
All
unquote,
of these
hard.
games.
try and make it more fun. Like for
Certainly
us, I don't
last
know.
game. I wouldn't say all of the games.
So the Val Heffelfinger amendment will be in effect for this game. So Val, hands
Hands on your head, sir.
hands on your head.
Yep.
Let's hope he hasn't learned to type.
Now
with his ball.
we're a real American podcast. Okay, let's go.
Do you have oil in your house? The first one is a metal Thunderhawk. Now, I couldn't find any of these sold on eBay recently, so I moved around a little bit, and we did a epic Thunderhawk, which is technically still a metal Thunderhawk.
Yeah.
So, Dickie, Val,
Oh, I'm
Danny,
playing a game. Okay, yeah.
you can play. I guess
I'm
just don't. Well, actually, you can because you have the answers. Damn it!
Yeah,
I've got to
I
send those to
kind
you.
of have the answer.
Yeah. All right, Val, Danny, how much are we paying for a epic scale metal Thunderhawk?
How much would I pay for a metal epic Thunderhawk? I actually own this model. I own several of them. I would pay what I think it's going for is probably $35.
35.
So
Val.
we got new in box here.
That's true.
I'm going 36.
36. The answer is 36.
Oh!
As we find out, Val
Bullshit.
has learned how to Google with his testicles because his hands were on display the whole time.
Wow.
One to
David
Val.
Blaine shit going on
Dickie's
there.
just feeding him answers. That's what I think.
No, I'm not. I'm not. My answer here. Here, look.
Next up, again, they didn't have the model. It was some kind of weird beast man. An Urgor, an Ungor. I don't know. I don't play these games, but it was spooky looking. So I found a Citadel Crackett's Giant Beastman, Death on the Relk. 2 metal rare. Oop.
Right. All right. I'm
How
gonna
much you
go.
paid for that?
$75 US.
No. Get out of here. 75.
75. Danny, what you going?
I'm gonna go for $1 for the
Safe bet.
the
Safe
guy
bet.
who's jacking off a giant, John.
Smart play.
Valuer? Suspiciously close.
Come on! Come on!
72.85.
Shooting fucking lasers here.
Who would pay
All right.
that for that?
This is
We're equaled up.
unbelievable.
We're equaled up.
What?
All right.
Equaled up. All right. Moving on. Our friend, our lover, the classic
Hey,
old
look at
king
this
of
boy.
the undead, assembled and painted in what looks like not a bad paint job. But Nagash, the Games Workshop Woof Vampire Counts Metal Nagash, number 2, Nim Painted Oop.
John, for Dark Carnival Nagash, I'm gonna have to go for oh man, this is tough.
This is a legendary model.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Mhm.
say $42. And yeah, whoop whoop, John.
$42.00 from Danny. Val.
So that's actually really well painted.
Not flocked.
Uh,
The flock was not flocked.
Okay. I'm going $80.
Yeah,
$80 from Val.
it's a lot.
$100.
Wow.
$100 was
Wow.
actually what I was going to say. I was going to say 100. I chickened out.
I'm shocked.
Wow.
Chickened out.
People
Chickened out.
going a price as big as the shoulder pads. $100 for original Nagash. Getting ready for Old World. Next up, the
I hope
second.
not.
I love
Most-
those Nagashes that have been rebased for AOS because like they're on the new Nagash base and they
Did
usually
they
like
put it on like
and they put
10
them on like
inches
a
of
giant and then they put them on a giant mound. It's always really funny.
foam? Just imagine him yelling down like, "Hey, I cast." Moving on, the second
I wanna
scariest
gatekeep those
model,
guys so bad.
the Warlord Titan, Warhammer 40,000, Forge World, Horus Heresy, Nib. How much did someone buy a new in-box Warlord Titan for? Starting with Val.
I can't remember what they actually go for. I'm gonna guess $2,500.
$2,500.
I think they go for 1,200. I thought they're 20. They were 2,500 points.
Oh shit.
Um,
$1 per point.
I'm not going to guess $1. I'm going to make a real guess. I'm going to say $1,000 though.
$1,000. Val, You happy with 2,500?
I don't know.
Shouldn't be. It was
It's so delayed.
1850.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I couldn't remember what they actually go for.
The best part about it now, it's all tied up to 2-2. Meaning this guy here is a little tiebreaker. And it's literally the spookiest, scariest miniature GW
God.
has ever made.
Oh, Jesus
Best
Christ.
bid. Yeah.
It's the Games Workshop Warhammer 40k Tau Vespid Sting Wings.
Anything over $1 is too much.
John, I'm gonna guess $69.
Ooh.
And
$69. Danny wants to throw the game away.
$1. $1, and that's what I would pay. I wouldn't even pay $1. These are maybe the worst models ever made.
Okay.
no way.
I don't think they're the
They're
worst
terrible.
models ever made.
They are the goofiest, derpiest things. Although we have had old Nagash on this list, so
Have you
that's
seen the Possessed that they came out with? Like the metal ones that are so bad?
No.
Oh my God.
not with a bang, but with a whimper. $1
Val.
wins.
That one's $37 for the box. I'm sorry, Danny, that people don't value Vespid as much as you value memes. And for that, I love you.
As much as I value jokes.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. I love that. Oh, God, I forgot I had a whole introduction section for you guys in this one as well. Oh, well, next time.
Mm-hmm.
I had our first contestant hailing from Moscow, Idaho, is a law student in his final year. He might be able to pass the bar, but can he pass this quiz?
Cannot
Oh.
pass the bar.
Cannot, no. And his opponent from the frozen, forgotten hellscape
Jesus.
wasteland of Toronto, Canada,
Mhm.
he can secure your future for a fee, but can he guess how much you spent on eBay?
The answer is yes.
He can. Guys, that's all I've got. What do you guys got? I'm gonna throw in there.
Nothing, man. I think that was a show. We just did a show.
I'm so
did.
happy to be back. I missed you, you dumb bastards. Oh,
Good having you back.
Yeah.
We were
Same.
spoiled by Val framing stuff right from the PowerPoint.
I'll show you how I do it. I think I've never actually
That's maybe one thing you did right. Yeah.
never actually shown him how to do basic things. But I can try.
Beautiful. Well, Dickie, it's great to have
You
you
can
back.
lead a Dickie to water, but you can't make him drink, you know?
You can, however, hold a tournament in his home.
You can hold his head underwater though.
I mean,
So that
no.
Yeah.
No.
Don't do that.
I can never forget that he is a trained killer and that I would lose that matchup immediately.
Yeah,
I'm a
or he'd
nice-
coach you
I'm
through
a
it.
nice guy.
He's a nice
Well-
guy unless you got regen on your fucking terror
Oh,
guys.
Yeah, then beware. He
yeah,
does
no,
not
he's-
it was
four
the
of
crypt
Gilno
horrors.
bands.
The crypt horrors.
Yeah.
They were the worst.
They're
Yeah, they're
gonna,
big.
yeah,
Guys. They're big mean
If
guys
you-
for me.
beat Dickie at Warhammer Fantasy or Old World, he will complain online about it because of the terrible mechanics that
Only
you
in a
use.
secret Discord that no one reads. That's the only.
Yeah,
place.
it's called the Grim Cord. You can be a member by supporting us wherever it lets you. I forget nowadays. But anyway, thank you for everyone for joining us here at Grim After Dark. You can find all of our socials and ways to support that I forget at grimafterdark.com. We will be back next Monday live at 10 p.m. Eastern-ish until I forget to load something like right at showtime. And if you enjoyed yourself, check out our back catalog on YouTube. Stop commenting on the Terminator short.
Well, keep
like,
it up,
just-
guys.
No.
So good. It is so funny.
I just stop it. I get so excited when I get a notification of a comment, and then it's just someone saying we're wrong about the Terminator when we didn't share an opinion.
You love it.
Remember when your life feels like a never-ending siege of terrible comments for a short we did in a minute like 3 months ago, and things can't get any worse? Join us here and remember that it's always grim after dark.
It's time to step into the grim darkness with nerds gather talking Warhammer madness. Grim After Dark, the podcast with the hosts John, Danny, and Val, but they're not the most. Claiming to be experts, but it's all a facade. Talking about battles and dice rolls, they're all odd. Trying to sound cool with their Warhammer talk, but I'm here to expose. It's all just squawk. Nerds, everywhere I see talking Warhammer this, like it's a decree. But let me tell you, homie, it is all just a game. In the real world, homie, we we are not the same. So put down the dice, step out of the dark. It's time to live life, nerd, make your own mark. Grim After Dark, the nerd's playground. Talking Warhammer this, acting all profound. But when I listen, it's all just a bunch of noise. I love roasting nerds and their stupid ass toys. Stupid ass toys, I wanna grab them. Put my hands around the neck, squeeze, squeeze, Warhammer squeeze, until they can't breathe or breathe again. Tell a friend, I'm out here roasting nerds again.